My life was always like a perfectly ironed tablecloth. Not a single wrinkle. Not a single stain. At 39, I was the woman everyone expected me to be. A devoted mother, a flawless homemaker, and a loyal wife. I was the keeper of schedules, the rememberer of birthdays, the one who mastered the art of paying bills on time. My husband was a hardworking, stable man, a provider. But inside our home, he had long ago become just another piece of furniture. We lived like two satellites in separate orbits. Polite hellos, "How was your day?" and a cold, vast silence in bed. We were both afraid to reach out, afraid to shatter our fragile world of indifference. I convinced myself that this was maturity, that passion was for novels, and for real life, peace was enough. But that peace ended the moment Lucas stood in my doorway. He was 26, an age where life still feels infinite and brimming with possibilities. He was a family friend's son who needed some extra work. He came to fix the old garage and patch up the leaking faucets, but in the end he pried open something I had spent decades burying deep underground. First, it was the little things. The way he looked at me when I brought him coffee. It wasn't the look you give a hostess. It was a gaze that made me feel like I was the most fascinating person in the room. My husband hadn't looked at me like that in 10 years. Lucas noticed when I was tired. He saw the shadow of exhaustion under my eyes before I even realized it was there. His voice, low with a permanent hint of huskiness, sent a strange shiver through me. "You need more rest, Elena," he would say. There was more intimacy in that simple piece of advice than in every conversation I'd had with my husband in a year. The tension thickened every day. We started crossing paths in the narrow hallway near the laundry room far too often. He wouldn't rush to move. I wouldn't rush to leave. We stood so close I could smell his skin. A mix of sawdust, rain, and something warm and raw. My hands would shake as I folded the laundry, my heart drumming in my throat like a trapped bird. I knew I was crossing a line. I knew this was a betrayal not just of my husband, but of the woman I thought I was. But the void between us was magnetic, and I was falling in. That evening, the sky turned the color of an old bruise. The storm promised to be a long one. My husband was staying late at the office again, and the kids were at their grandmother's. The house felt too hollow, too vast, until I heard the back door creak. He walked in, drenched, his hair plastered to his forehead. I stood in the kitchen, gripping the edge of the counter so hard my knuckles turned white. "You shouldn't have come," I whispered, but there was no strength in my voice. It wasn't a request. It was a surrender. He stepped toward me, closing the distance. The air between us vibrated with the sound of rain hammering against the glass. "I tried to stay away," he replied, his voice breaking. "I swear I tried everything. But I can't stop thinking about you." In that moment, the world outside this kitchen ceased to exist. No obligations. No age difference. No rules. There was only his warm breath against my temple, and the terrifying realization that I no longer belonged to myself. When he touched my hand, I should have pushed him away. I should have remembered my vows and the judgment of the world. Instead, I closed my eyes and let myself fall. It was like jumping into ice-cold water. Terrifying, painful, but incredibly awakening. His lips were hungry, his hands roughened by work, and it was exactly what I had been starving for. In that cramped kitchen, to the rhythm of the storm, I realized I wasn't just a function. I wasn't just a mother or a wife. I was a woman. Alive. Sinful. Broken. But finally alive. Now, my life is a double game. I set the table for dinner, smile at my husband, and listen to his stories about work while the echo of Lucas's whisper still rings in my ears. I find his notes in the most unexpected places. In the vegetable basket, hidden in the toolbox, tucked into the folds of fresh towels. Every word is like a jolt of electricity. "Tell me you don't want this and I'll leave," he writes. But I can't say it. The lie has become my second skin. I look at my reflection in the dark window at night, and I don't recognize the woman staring back. Who is she with that feverish glow in her eyes? I hate myself for this weakness. I hate him for showing me how empty my life was before he arrived. But every morning when I hear his truck pull into the driveway, my heart does a somersault. I am standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to my gray, safe prison. The other leads into the heart of a fire that will destroy everything I've built. And the most terrifying part? I think I've already chosen the fire.